I'm Stumpy Nubs, and today I'm going to show you how a micro adjuster can change everything. I've designed all sorts of woodworking machines and jigs, and one of my favorite features that I try to build into as many things as possible is the micro adjuster, because it can give an otherwise ordinary jig a tremendous level of precision. It seems that I'm not the only one to take note of that potential. A lot of companies are adding micro adjusters, but one in particular that I thought was really interesting is this otherwise ordinary looking router base made by Empower. They added a bunch of things to the base, but one thing that is particularly interesting is the micro adjuster that moves the router independently of the base itself. That may seem like a minor improvement, but it can totally change the way we use a handheld router for a lot of tasks. For example, take circle cutting. I can fine-tune the size of any hole, as small as 3/4 of an inch. This is really useful because sometimes I want to cut a circle out of something and I don't have a paddle bit or a Forstner bit or a hole saw for that particular odd size. With this, I can fine-tune it. It also works with large arcs and circles, letting me fine-tune a radius up to 4 feet. I find that that little wheel just makes it a lot easier to get the perfect setup, especially if I want to make a very small adjustment. Another interesting use is with mortising. We've seen pin attachments on router bases before. They help you to guide your bit right down the center of a workpiece. But adding a micro adjuster gives you the ability to offset the bit, or to even make wide mortises with multiple passes. And if the mortise is too tight, you can easily shave just a tiny bit more material away for a perfect fit. Here's another way that the adjuster changes everything. When you use a clamp-on straight edge to cut a dado, you don't have to do the math to figure out the distance between the bit and the edge of your router base. All you have to do is get the straight edge close and then use the micro adjuster to fine-tune the cut. If the dado ends up being too narrow, you can use the adjuster to widen it just slightly with the second pass, all without moving your guide. There are a lot of things that this base can do, and I'll put a link in the notes below to a more complete overview that the manufacturer made, which is also where I got all these fancy graphics. But I was so impressed with the thought that went into this router base, particularly that micro adjuster that I just had to show it to you. See you next time.